I think the Democratic potential candidates haven't really been out there as much on this question as I would have expected them to. We had to kind of search around a little bit to see what anybody had said, if anything. And maybe it's just so loud, like what's happening on the ground is so loud that you can't get it. But I haven't seen any of them fly to Minnesota, right? Like Kamala Harris hasn't gotten on an airplane from California and flown to Minneapolis and walked in a march. We haven't seen that from Buttigieg. We haven't seen that frankly, we haven't seen it from Gavin. We haven't seen it from any of them. And it just feels to me like it's a crisis that would cry out for some of these folks to stand with the American public that's outraged by what's happened.
It is outrageous, and I wonder, and I don't wanna be kind of too cynically political about this, but I wonder if people think that it's would be seen as too political to be showing up in some of these places. I also think it's a different kind of calculus for, we've been talking, there's a lot of governors in this race. So, like, Josh Shapiro needs to stay home in Pennsylvania because ICE is showing up in Philadelphia. Like, they've
That's
got
right.
stuff that they need to worry about. Westmore needs to
That's
worry
right.
about Maryland. But,
And there's been a snowstorm. So in fairness to the governors, they have
yeah.
been managing the biggest snowstorm of the last decade.
Yeah. So, and look, I think there's also kind of a need to, like, I think it's probably going to help Tim Walz as governor of Minnesota for them to sort of pull back and stay away and sort of let him have the spotlight on this and on the response to this. But the only reason that I would say that they're not kind of actually showing up there is that it would just be seen as too political, too calculated. Everybody's had statements about it, which, they sort of mirror each other, right? Because it's absolutely positively abhorrent and outrageous and completely and totally avoidable.
So the
And so,
question
so the
on
outrage, the
everybody's
outrage, the
mind,
outrage is kind of similar.
yeah, the question on people's mind about this is, do we think that Donald Trump is now pulling back? He's bringing out ICE agents. He sent Tom Homan in, who, by the way, is not like a great, warm and fuzzy guy, pulled out Greg Movino. But the question I wonder, I think is on the people's minds is, will this still matter 2 years from now? Is this a hinge point for the Trump presidency where now people are paying attention to the worst aspects of the Trump presidency in the way that they weren't, 6 months ago?